Welcome to BizTech's Enterprise Technology Show. Today on the show, we talk about low code and no code, which has become a buzzword in the enterprise space in the last few years. Our conversation is with Gibu Mathew, the VP and GM of Asia Pacific at Zoho. Now, Zoho was founded in 1996 and is headquartered in Austin, Texas. It's a leading global technology company that offers a suite of business, collaboration, and productivity applications. Now, Gibu, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Brian, and thank you for having me as part of the show.
Now, could you start, Gibu, by giving us a brief history of Zoho and what it does?
Well, yeah, as you mentioned, Zoho was started in 1996, and as a company, we have today over 50 plus business applications. Even as we grew, we solved one business problem after the other. And I would say we started off in our transformation quite early. And we made those products and applications available to businesses of all sizes over the last many years. And as a company today, we are actually into various segments of business software that is needed to run a company, including customer relationship management, people or HR and HRIS, custom application builder tools, marketing, and various other tools that are needed to run a business.
And so you started off primarily, way back, I used one of your very simple products, Zoho CRM. But overall, you started off very much in the SME type space, but now you've moved across the enterprise. Give us some idea of some of the large customers that are using your products and services.
Yeah, so we have quite a few customers actually. We have customers who use our applications in different verticals. So we have customers like, say, large financial services organizations like IIFL in India. We have universities that use our products at scale in terms of managing how students and staff members and administrators manage their various processes in terms of booking courses, even a 30,000 big students, big university using us. So we have customers of different segments, very large organizations, as well as solopreneurs who use our products to get their work done.
Now, Gibu, what is your footprint like in the Asia Pacific region, and what has been your go-to-market strategy?
Yeah, so from a footprint perspective, we are today in all major markets in Asia Pacific. We have offices in at least 5 countries in the region. We are headquartered in Singapore, and we are putting up special focus for the region. And as a matter of fact, from a customer perspective, we have been in this market for almost 5 to 10 years, and we are seeing great growth as well in this particular region.
Now, I want to zoom in on the low code, no code revolution. Now, in the past, a company had 2 options when they needed new systems. They either build their new system themselves using their own developers and maybe some external contractors maybe to help them, or they could buy a system from an external vendor. So those are the 2 key options and some variances of that. Could you tell us a little bit about the advantages and disadvantages of those options, and then walk us through the low code, no code revolution?
Absolutely. So all this, the need for more digitalization, if you see, rewind back early part of the century, I would say, we had a lot of natively digital companies that came up, right? Like we have the Airbnbs and the Uber, and even our own regional example like Grab, wherein you see a lot of digitalization that has been put into our business. And a lot of companies, right, in other verticals or industries, they're trying to emulate and be more digital. Of course, it's a long journey. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, as we understand. So even as companies or businesses are trying to digitalize more, they need to digitalize more of their business processes. And that's when and that's when cloud itself came in as a very big trend, as a matter of fact, which is enabling businesses to get things done a lot more effectively at a much more lower cost. As a matter of fact, in that trend, businesses have multiple options. They could actually build out those applications and solutions, which is a lot more involved, but you could also look out for prepackaged solutions that solve specific niche problems, right? Maybe not exactly niche, but it is specific problems. And then you have the need to solve problems that are probably unique to your business, right? It may not be something that you can get off the shelf. That is when you really have to invest in a platform and build it the way you want it so that your users can be more productive. And that's the space where low-code platforms are actually filling a huge gap, because every business, they may have a few core apps, but you will have tens or hundreds or thousands of long-tail apps also. And today, given the scenario wherein it's not just about digitalization, but it is also about other aspects of digitalization and the risks of data being exposed, right? So there are a lot of aspects that today the IT team or the business owner or the chief digital officer has to keep in mind, even as they decide to pick up the right solution and bring it to their users.
Okay, I want to talk about a key trend. Gartner predicts that by 2024, non-IT users, such as citizen developers, as they call it, business technologists, and AI will build 80% of technological products. So basically, people like me who have very little knowledge of coding will be building products for my own company. Now, this shift has already begun. It's become a global phenomena. But walk us through, Gibu, some simple applications that maybe non-technical staffs have used your solutions and non-technical staff working in your customers have developed for their own companies.
Yeah, that's a very important point. Now, first of all, you mentioned about citizen developers, right? So what technology has done is it's made technology adoption a lot more easier, given the kind of devices that we have, given the kind of exposure the upcoming new generation of employees that join workforces are already exposed to. It brings in a new kind of employees to the organization who are already born in the digital era, right? So there is a lot more people who understand technology. That is one big advantage, and that's one of the reasons for the growth of these citizen developers. And one of the beautiful things about low-code platforms itself is it allows you to take away a lot of complexities away from you. And you could build up an application like an application to keep track of, say, all contacts. You could actually build a contact tracking application itself with ease. You may have a lot of vanilla such apps, but for your particular use case, you may want to tie it up with, say, a database of properties that you're selling, right? You may want to show the properties that you're selling. You may be a real estate company trying to sell properties. You may want to tie that along with the properties that you sell so that your users, your sales users, or other suppliers can interact with your application and can all be on the same page, even as that is being used. So that is an application that a citizen developer could actually build. Of course, based on the scale that you need, right? Based on how large your organization is, you will have to put in some more business logic into it, right? So for example, real estate, for example, itself is a very regulated industry based on the country you belong in. So there are a lot of such business use cases or business rules you may have to push into your application. Those will need a little bit more additional capabilities or efforts to build. But to get that first version out, pass it on to various stakeholders internally to get adoption, to make them more enthusiastic about the possibilities of technology is something that is quite flexible and easy to do today, given the various technologies that we have.
Okay, so Could you walk us through some of the plus points of low code, no code on businesses? One thing I think just highlighted is the fact that literally you could do a prototype or proof of concept very, very quickly, share it out with users and stakeholders to get feedback before refining it. Tell us a little bit more about some of the advantages of low code, no code.
Well, if you look at low code, no code, right? When you first of all, no code represents applications or SaaS applications typically today in today's context, because the legacy way of doing on-prem is kind of restricted to very regular industries that are specific who need the data on-prem. But if you look at the industry, the applications that are SaaS based, no code is a great option, especially to make sure that there are enough customizations to make it tailored to your business process. But not everybody's problems can be solved with purely no code, though we have excellent no code options. But the best part about low code itself is the ability to be customized, and in the right place where you need to bring in that customization, you can actually write non-professional, actually not, I'll say, if I say about professional, it is like third generation languages like Java or C and all. You don't need to have that level of complexity. It's a lot more easier. You can write low code to actually get those things actually done.
So when you say low code and no code, can someone like myself who is not a coder basically drag and drop and build applications that way?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, that is the best thing about low code platforms or low code, no code platforms. As a matter of fact, when we started our Zoho Creator, which is our low code platform, even before iPhone itself came into the market, before smartphones were popular in the market, we had customers who actually built out applications using our low code platform, right? And if you look at it they're more like futuristically, right? These customers could even export that old application into a mobile application. They could export it and create mobile apps and have that listed on Google Play Store or on the Apple App Store. So what that actually means is low code is a amazing technology or a way of building applications. Even though it may be specific to your needs, you build it. And the beauty about it is vendors like Zoho, even as we support newer trends, newer technologies, we make sure that the application also gets those free ongoing technology upgrades, even as newer technologies like AI or newer interfaces or newer experiences that we may see in a new version of an operating system of, for example, for iOS. Those new experiences also come into your application, even as it is adopted by the platform provider like, say, Zoho Creator.
Okay, so Gibu, let me paint some scenarios, and then maybe you can help certain users. Let's just say I'm a very small company, less than 10 people. We obviously are tracking everything by Excel. And I'm talking about tracking everything in terms of, let's talk about a very simple need. I need to manage my customers better. And you would think that traditionally you would just go and get a CRM solution, but walk us through what a business like that would need and could benefit from low code and no code options.
Right. So this is a very interesting question. So I would probably contextually bring in our own solution over here, because we do have a CRM application. We have Zoho CRM, which is our platform product. And we also have a low code platform to build applications. So from that context, I see both sides of the coin, and I'll try to answer that question with the best effort possible here. So if you're a small company, the CRM out there, let's say, for example, Zoho CRM can actually solve a lot of problems for you. But the beauty about today's platforms is even a platform like Zoho CRM gives you low code, no code options in the same platform. If 80% of your job is actually already done as part of the Zoho CRM, you could write low code in the CRM platform itself and extend and get that extra 20%. Or if you have a very, very specific niche use case wherein your vision of what a CRM should be is different from what is traditionally seen, and you want to build out something from the ground up with exactly and only the things that you want, right? You could go with a low-code approach. You can build out your own CRM based on your opinion of how a CRM should look with the interface, how it should look exactly. Well, you could also do that with a low-code platform like Zoho Creator. So It is about how you want to finally have your users experience your platform. Could be a reason of why you choose between the two.
Okay. Now, Gibu, another scenario. I'm a company in Thailand or Indonesia. I have a workforce of 1,000 people. We have very old, customized, home-built solutions that I cannot manage anymore. So essentially, my ERP solution is a customized solution built 20 years ago, and I'm sure you're smiling inside because you know this happens a lot. Built 20 years ago, it's become a monster that cannot be managed. How will I then quickly embark on my digital transformation journey and in an affordable manner take advantage of this low-code, no-code revolution?
I would say the first step, it's like about how do I get started, right? So typically the best way to get started is to pick up a core business process that you think needs to be improved. I think that is how you actually get started. As a matter of fact, take that one business process. If you look at Zoho Creator as a platform, these low-code platforms can work with your existing systems. It will be flexible enough to be part of your existing system to start with. You slowly add and solve one business problem, and then you expand even as you see value. Even as you add more users into that platform, you can actually start automating even more processes or switching more processes from that existing legacy application to the new platform. So that is one of the best things about these kind of platforms.
Gibu, the challenge that I have and the question mark I have around that approach is, will this be then a hodgepodge of different solutions? How do I make sure that everything is integrated? That my new solution that I'm building is an integrated solution that I can grow forward with instead of just creating a new monster.
So the best way for doing that is to make sure that all the stakeholders who are, it's about whether the stakeholders, the will to, switch. Okay, so there will be an initial, inhibition on getting onto the platform or is adopting a new system. But I would say if you have all the stakeholders understand the value of ease of collaboration, ease of getting things done wherever you are. For example, your legacy systems may not even have a mobile app, for example, or may not have an interface for that, or you may have to use a VPN to actually get into your corporate network to achieve or access an application. You bring in those values, and you also say, hey, this low-code platform even can have, say, two-factor authentication for login, or has the best security aspects to it, which doesn't compromise on data security. And you have the convenience of even a mobile app. You put in all those, the values of getting work done today in the new way of doing things. There's a huge amount of value unlocking, ease of use, convenience, especially in the new way of working. That's definitely a very good way of convincing employees. And then automatically when they are able to get things done seamlessly, because one of the biggest trends in the last 2-3 years is the huge, improvements in employee experience and customer experience. And if you can prove to your stakeholders that the experience that customers get is going to really also reflect on the employees' experience, even as they deliver services for customers, that's going to make a huge impact. And that's going to have a lot more adoption for these platforms and support your journey towards more digitalization as a business.
Now, Gibu, looking ahead, can you share what are some key trends in the tech space that we should be watching out for in 2022, 2023?
Absolutely. So looking at the digital trends, right? So one of the biggest trends was about cloud solutions, right? So cloud and the importance of cloud, I think I don't have to reiterate, but that is one of the biggest enablers for traditional businesses to digitalize. And of course, there are other trends that are coming in because of this need, because even as more digitalization is happening, there is a huge amount of data. So that means higher attention to security is again another big aspect when you actually look out for new platforms, right? Higher attention to data security. And I would say security is not just enough. You should also worry about privacy, because one of the untold worrisome for the C segment, I would say, is, it's not really explicitly mentioned, but privacy is actually tightly related to security. Is my business knowledge, the essence of my business, is it accessible or available to my competitors in some kind of a digital form, right? Today's what we call as adjunct surveillance by advertisement-driven businesses and companies actually create such scary scenarios for the C segment. And that's where, Zoho as a company itself has a huge focus and emphasis on how security and privacy is tightly part of our DNA. Now, another big trend I would say is towards, what I mentioned about customer experience. How and what today's customers expect from us as a business. How seamless they expect, because consumer technology has progressed so much. We have seen how and where we can and what we can do. And newer trends are already keeping up with it, with AI, the capabilities of analytics or business intelligence, all of that, along with AI, along with smart data scientists who support building those AI models. All that actually helps you to bring and deliver better customer experiences. And this, along with making sure that the employees who serve your customers have great employee experience, are some of the major trends, I would say, that are driving traditional businesses towards more of digitalization. And that's the priority, I would say, for the C segment today.
Gibu, it's been a fascinating conversation, but before we leave, as a final note, what would you like to share with the audience?
I strongly believe technology has matured to a great extent that it is today quite safe and secure to empower your business with the right tools by keeping the right priority in mind without compromising your business model. Adopting and choosing the vendors with the right corporate philosophy aligned with your own business. That's one of the most important things that you have to do, even as you align with more digitalization for your business. And today's technology can really help you get started. I think the first step is to get started with one small business process and then expanding from there.
Gibu, thank you very much for taking your time to be on the show.
Thank you very much, Brian, for having me on this show.
I'm Brian Fernandez, and I've been speaking to Gibu Mathew, the Vice President and General Manager, Asia Pacific at Zoho, on BizTech's Enterprise Technology Show. This video and podcast will be on our various social media platforms, as well as our website, www.biztech.asia. Please like and subscribe to our various platforms. Thank you very much for tuning in.